This computer. All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, here we got another one. We got Tracy coming in hot. Hello,
Mhm.
Tracy. Oh, good to see you. We're just getting started. 5:01. I am going to be on time. My daughter's name is Tessa, and I call her on time Tessa because she is always on time, unlike her mother. But we are going to try to be on time today. So, let me share my screen. Hope everybody's doing well. And we'll take questions at the end or anytime. At any time, you guys can open it up and open it up and ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Okie dokie. So today's lesson 21. I love every lesson, but I think talking about, the fall flowers, pollinator flowers, seed saving, this is something that I've sort of touched on, but I'm going to go in depth today. And so I think you're going to really like it. And the handouts are going to be really comprehensive. So you really look for those handouts that are coming your way tomorrow. So, oh, look at this, student of the week, Tracy. Congratulations. I am so proud of Tracy because it makes me happy when she had a very large bed and we only irrigated half of it, similar to Christy Hart, who, by the way, could have just been here just as well. Both of them have the same story. Didn't really use one. They were scared they weren't going to be able to commit to the whole garden. And both Christy and Tracy have committed now to their whole garden. And I'm so excited to see what happens there. So, congratulations to both Christy and Tracy, getting confident with your gardening skills. And then I have to throw in Fawn, and I'm surprised she's not here. I have to throw in Fawn because poor Fawn was devastated. She went on vacation last summer and her irrigation failed, and she came home to her garden 100% dead. And so
Oh,
she had to start all over, and she was really ready to throw in the towel. And I have to say, everybody, hey, Tracy, nice to see you. I have to say that we are all going to, have times in our garden that a bug comes in and just eats everything, or oh, I had one time at my mom's house, her irrigation went crazy and was flooding everything, and nobody noticed it because it was on the side of the house. And I came up one day, I was like, oh my goodness, it's flooded. So it almost killed everything, but we caught it in time. So I just have to say to Fawn, I'm so proud of her for not getting discouraged and pushing through. And now she's got her cool weather plants getting planted. So I'm very happy to see Fawn soldier through. So today's lesson's goals are to talk about the best fall pollinator plants. As we know, we've got our warm season flowers and our cool season flowers. And one of the things about our pollinator plants that I don't know if you guys really understand or know is that all the pollinator plants bloom at different times of the year. And that is because we have to have continual blooming for the pollinators to keep going all year long. So it's really just like our gardens are a variety of vegetables and things. Our flowers need to be a really good variety that is going to keep the blooms going all year long. So I have a list of fall ones that are going to be good for the fall pollinators. And of course, we want to know which edible flowers are going to thrive in the cool weather. And today we're going to talk about collecting and storing seeds. And we're going to, of course, be doing those from our summer plants that are just now getting pulled out or, drying up on the vine. So why do pollinators still matter in the fall? Because our migrating monarchs are going to be looking for things to eat. The bees, the hummingbirds, they all, like the hummingbirds, not all of them migrate. Some of them hang around. And our native bees are here all year long. So they always need things to have nectar to eat. So we definitely need to make sure that we've got fall pollinators. And um, and so here are some suggestions. I'm just doing a very small list because I think it's easy to keep it simple. But you can always Google this and find more if you like. I also have a bigger comprehensive list that I'm going to be sending out to you tomorrow. But this is salvia. It's very pretty. It's tall. and not that tall, but it's upright flower. Whereas the alyssum, as we all know, aren't you guys getting good at your flowers now? Are you now sort of know what these are? Your alyssum are going to come draping over the sides of your raised beds. And my favorite chocolate flower, which I just love to put in, has really done well in all my clients' gardens. And the back of the yellow flower is pink and white stripes, and they do smell like chocolate. And you walk into your garden and just woofs of chocolate. It's so beautiful. And then the verbena is such another beautiful flower. And our fall edible flowers are our nasturtiums, which I love, and our calendula. And these come in different colors. The calendula comes in different varieties, different yellows and oranges. You can get a lot of different varieties of calendula. The violas are so pretty. Marigolds, of course. Say no more about marigolds. I always thought marigolds were sort of boring, but at the end of the day, they're such a great plant, flower. And then I didn't want to forget everybody. I don't want you guys to forget that we can eat our basil flowers and our chive
Ooh.
flowers and our oregano flowers, which are very pretty and delicate purple. Don't forget you can use your herb flowers and put them in salads and eat them as well. So that's a fun tip. So one other thing I wanted to talk about was, putting them in your garden where you're going to place them. Of course, you want to do your alyssum and violas, pansies that are the lower, shorter flowers. I was even noticing that the marigolds, even though when you get them, they're pretty short looking, they can get taller. So you want to maybe put the marigolds more in the middle, not up front. So the calendula definitely, nasturtiums, they get taller, a little bit taller. And in the back, like I was mentioning, the salvia and cosmos is another good flower to plant right now. They are a little bit wild looking. They're a pretty hot pink flower if you're not familiar with them. And they are great pollinators, but they would go more in the back. And what would you think of making your own monarch butterfly way station? So there is a nonprofit that I came across recently that is trying to encourage everybody that has any kind of a yard to make sure that everybody in their yard at some point has a little, like a way station for our pollinators. So making sure that you have a lot of different variety of flowers. So monarchs in particular only lay their eggs on milkweed. And I don't suggest putting milkweed in our beds because of the fact that they get big and bushy, so it would take up a lot of room, but they do go well. They're pretty easy to put right into the soil if we can amend our soil enough. So if anybody has extra space in their garden for some milkweed, I highly put that in. Let me ask you, Christy, have you put any milkweed in? Because I know you've got quite a bit of, I don't know if she can talk to me or not. Oh, good.
Sorry, yeah, I can talk now. I have not, but I think I have an area that I could probably do that pretty
Great.
easily.
That is great. So I also, speaking of that, I'm going to research it. I am not sure what time of year that we do the milkweed. We can get free seed at the extension here at the Master Gardens. You can get free seed, but I think it's easier, definitely easier to put milkweed in from seedlings to get from the nursery. And there's several places in town. Cactus Joe's has a really nice variety of things. I was just there, and I'd always call them before going because Cactus Joe's is it's a drive, but they are really committing themselves to putting in pollinator flowers. So last time I was there, they did have some milkweed and different varieties of it, which is great to have too, because there's different varieties. I don't know if you know, there's like a showy milkweed for our specific climate. Showy milkweed does well. Horsetail milkweed. This says swamp milkweed. I have not seen that one, but whatever like say also Joe's cactus or Mojave Bloom carries milkweed sometimes. If they're carrying it, they'll usually carry the right type. You will not find it at Star Nursery. or you won't find it at the big box. And you know why? And this is my own feeling of it, is probably because the word is weed. I don't know if y'all know this. Did you know that a lot of the fish that we eat was the name of it was changed for marketing purposes? For instance, orange roughy. I think if you Google orange roughy, the name of the fish was something terrible, like a terrible name that's not edible. So, anyway, I think they should change the name of milkweed to something else because I feel like people will be like, oh, I'm not going to plant a weed in my garden, but it's a necessary plant. And the one of the reasons why it's so necessary is that the monarchs only lay their eggs on milkweed. It's a solo plant. It won't lay its eggs anywhere else. So if it doesn't have any milkweed, and then once the chrysalis hatch and the worm comes out, the monarch, when it's in its worm, in its little worm format, it will eat the plant. And sometimes it can just eat the whole plant down, but then the plant still comes back and survives. So it's a really amazing, it's this amazing thing of nature. Also, the monarchs start in Mexico and then they go across the United States and then they go up into Canada. So the we are the track between Mexico and its end version. And also, I don't know if you knew this, but the monarchs, they get here, they get halfway, and then they die, and then they they procreate again, and then the next generation keeps going, and then it goes back again. So it's really an interesting process that they don't really even make it all the way, that somehow the offspring knows to keep going. Anyway, it's a miracle. It's a miracle type of thing, and it's unfortunate that they're definitely we are killing so much of their habitat that it's really affecting their survival, and they are on the endangered list right now. So I'm grateful for that because now we have a lot more awareness of the monarch butterfly. So anyway, this going back to my full circle, the reason why I was telling you this story, and I forgot the name of the organization that is promoting everybody making a little way station. They figured that if all of us with
What
our
is it?
little, yeah, with our little teeny, plots of land, if every one of us tried to have a little way station, then it would really help the plight of the butterflies and just um, you know, pollinators in general. So anyway, that's my little rant about hopefully educating everybody a little bit more on the importance of having, pollinator plants in your garden. And on top of that, it's just pretty. So, okay, now I wanted to talk a little bit. If there's any questions, well, there's probably, I don't think you guys have any questions. If you have any questions, let me know. But I'm going to move on now to seed saving.
So
And
Jamie, did you say do we plant milkweed from seeds or
You
we just go
can
buy?
you
Okay.
can plant it from seed, and I was mentioning that you can get free seeds that are
Okay.
really good for our area. Like we collect milkweed seeds from local plants, so they're really good seeds.
Okay.
Except for it's not as easy. It's a little bit more difficult. But Rosemary, you're up for the task. So
Yes.
I would highly recommend you running over to the extension office. It's on Paradise and Windmill, and you just go in and say, "Hey, I heard you have free milkweed seeds," and they will say you are welcome to them. As a matter of fact, they have a lot of native plant seeds for free, and they'll usually give everybody, maybe 4 or 5 packets, depending on whoever's there. So if you go to the extension, you can get free flower seeds and free milkweed seeds. So that's a good tip people don't know about. So when we are saving seeds, this is so funny. I've got a picture here of someone looking like very bored. Okay, this is the boring part of the class, but I'm going to try to explain it so that you guys are going to keep your eyes open and be interested. So it's funny because when I was saying, "Oh, saving seeds is pretty easy," actually, you have to use open pollinated plants. So, what is an open pollinated plant mean? And it just means that the plant, when you get the seed of it, is going to produce the same plant that you think you're planting. So, in other words, I didn't know this. I'm sure, not everybody knows this, but let's just say you're going to save a tomato seed and it came from like a different, not an open pollinated plant, like something a hybrid that you would get at the plant store. Well, those actually, you don't even know. If you save those seeds, you might not even know what you're going to get. So let's just go back to beginnings. Beginners, if you want to save seeds and you're just a beginner, this is a really easy, those look terrible, the calendula seeds, those are not worms. Those are actually seeds. If you look at them, think of them as pretty, I think they're pretty, but they do look a little bit like worms, but they're just a little seed. So that's a calendula seed. Beet seeds are really cool too. I think they're really pretty. But anyway, so when you want to get a basil seed to collect one, you let your basil stay in your garden. As you know, right now they're getting ready to get frozen. But if they're producing any kind of flower, let it go as long as you can, and then until they look sort of dry looking, then you can pick them off. And once they're really dry, you just rub the flowers, and the seeds will come off. They're supposed to be very easy to collect. Marigolds, they are so cool. When you let a marigold dry on the stem, you pick the head off and let it sit on your counter for a week or two, and you will see little striped, they look like matchsticks. They're cool. They're not really even doesn't look like a seed at all. It looks like a little stick. And they're really cool and they're super easy to save. So we shouldn't have to be buying any more basil seeds. We shouldn't be having to buy any marigold seeds. And if you have a calendula plant, which hopefully you do, you can save your calendula seeds. So that's that. Okra. Right now, a lot of us have some okra. If you can, let them dry on the stalk. Then you just crack them open when they're brittle, and inside are those little seeds. And then you just let them dry for one more week before storing them. And those are so easy to save. They're so easy. And they're so easy when you put them in the ground, they just pop up. So anyway, one of the so just again, why do you want to use open pollinators? And that way you can reliably save the seed from that plant over year after year. And if you save seeds from your own garden, they're going to really be healthy and they're going to be well adapted to growing in our harsh climate. And then if you don't know, if you can save your seed packets, this is a good reason why to have an organized way of when you buy seeds to keep the seed packets, which I don't think I've ever mentioned to you guys, that we should be keeping our seed packets and filing them and keeping notes on them, because the seed packet will be labeled whether it's open pollinated or not. So that's good to know. And then like I was saying earlier, how you want to avoid hybrids but that's really what you get mostly at the nursery is the hybrid plants. So that they're not as good to save. And then heirloom plants are open pollinated. So that's why heirloom plants are great, that people can pass them down for generation for generation. I was talking to, I was talking to Candace today, and we're really working hard to get these tomatoes of her father's tomatoes. Oh, Tracy, do you want to unmute, or you can you can talk if you want to, but thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It was all muted. I had no idea.
That's okay. And next time I'll say this. It's fine.
That's so weird. She just did it.
There it is. Perfect. Okay. So I was talking to Candace, and it's funny because I feel like sometimes we just naively do things, and who knew if all those seeds that her father-in-law were saving were even, viable, heirloom or whatever. So it was just lucky because we don't know what she's going to get, what kind of tomato she's going to get, but this will be an interesting experiment. But saving tomato seeds, I wanted to go over this because that is a little trickier. So this is how you do it. And I'm going to give you a handout. Again, I have a lot of handouts for this lesson this week because saving tomato seeds is a longer process. And I just wanted you to we'll talk about it today. You can ask questions, and then just know I'm going to give you a handout with all of it on one piece of paper. Okay. So one of the things about a tomato is that it has to, like most of our things, if we're talking about the flower seeds, that the flower has to be dried or the herb needs to be dried on the stem. I was just noticing my chives have these beautiful white puffballs, and then they're just sort of dying. And then inside the white puffball, I can see the little black seeds. So that's a lot of the times how you see how to collect the seed. But with a tomato, because it's a fruit, it's inside of it, you want to collect the seed from a red, healthy tomato. So you cannot collect seeds from a green tomato. And it makes sense because when you think about trying to collect seeds from like a green, let's see, what else is it? Oh, I know, like an arugula. Arugula shoots up this greenish pod, and then after a while, it finally gets sort of dry looking, and then inside the seeds are ready to go. So that's similar to a tomato. So you only want to collect the tomato seeds from a tomato that is a really good specimen. So if all your tomatoes growing, if you see one that's a really good specimen, let's save the seeds from that one. And also make sure it's red. It doesn't want to be rotten, doesn't want to be old. It just needs to be a nice, perfect red tomato. So once you pick your really good tomato, the best specimen, you cut it in half and you get a jar, a clean jar with a lid. And you're going to squeeze all that pulpy and the juice and the stuff all into in there. Um, and you just put it right into that jar. And what we want to do now is we want to something called ferment the seeds. So you put them in the jar and you add 1 to 2 cups of water to the jar and you shake it really good. And then you let it sit for 2 to 4 days. And you can keep shaking it. Like if you walk by, it wants to be, doesn't need to be in the sun, but just maybe on the counter somewhere where you see it. Just shake it up, keep it shaken up every, couple times a day. Do this for 2 to 4 days. And now the seeds are going to be ready to be fermented. Now, if you see any seeds that are floating to the top, get rid of those. Those are bad seeds. Everything at the bottom is good. So now you're going to take the fermented seeds and strain them and rinse them very well. And now you're going to shake them onto a paper towel. And then you immediately, what that does, the paper towel part's sort of just an in-between thing. You can put it on a paper towel. You do not want to let the seeds dry on the paper towel because they'll stick. So the paper towel, here's Christy Hart. Hey, Christy. So the paper towel is just there to sort of dry them off a little bit, but you can also just put them straight onto a plate. So you can either rinse them, strain them and rinse them, put them on a plate, or you can put them on a paper towel and then quickly put them onto a plate so they don't dry on the paper towel. They're going to dry on a plate for 3 to 5 days. Then they're going to be nice and seed-like. And at that point, you can put them in an envelope that's labeled and stored in a cool, dry place. So the different ways you can store them, you can use paper envelopes, you can do them in jars. Just make sure you keep them in a cool, dry place. I think a lot of us sometimes think we can just keep our seeds outside in our bag of tools, but it's really not a good place for seeds. They really like to be, in a cooler, dry place if you want them to last long. Okay, that was a lot. Did anybody have some questions on how to dry tomato seeds? Okay. Now, today we had a very interesting comment. I really thank Christy and I really appreciated who was the other one? Who was it that brought in the Julie Tran? I was very appreciative. Poor Julie. She really hates bugs. I mean, none of us like bugs, but she definitely, it gives her heart palpitations to see a bug in her garden. But, I think we talked about this many, many times. This is the nature of the beast. We're going to have bugs. And believe me, we really don't have as many bugs problems as a lot of people do. If you're back east, it just seems like there's a lot more bug problems back east, with the humidity and all that stuff. With our dry weather, it's not as bad, but we're going to get a few things. So I did an AI drawing of this, and I thought it was really interesting. So Christy, earlier in the year, or what actually she was saying, she was pulling out her sunflowers, found a pest that looked like this, which is very grub-like looking to me. But when Julie Tran sent her picture, this is what a grub looks like. It's more of a C shape. This is what Christy had in her garden, which was a different type of bug. I think it was called the patent leather bug beetle. It becomes a patent leather beetle, which is actually good for your garden. So see, you guys, it's really a fine line with these bugs. Like the other day, somebody sent me a picture of it looked like a grasshopper or it looked like a praying mantis. Well, grasshoppers aren't that bad, but for instance, grasshopper is a worse plant, is a worse bug, but a praying mantis is a very good bug, and they look similar. So we have to be careful when we're, killing bugs or whatever, but anyway, we just want to be aware that they are different. They have different qualities on them, and you can look them up, and AI isn't always the right thing to do. And if you really are questioning what you have, the best thing to do, if you can, is to actually collect the bug and really take good pictures of it. And you can send it to the help desk at the extension. The Master Garden Extension Program will help you identify bugs. I'm not a professional bug identifier, but I can help you a little bit as well. And just for fun and review, I have asked AI to put the ladybug larva here because, I mean, you can't even believe that ugly, scary looking thing, and I shouldn't say it's ugly, maybe it's beautiful to its mother, but it's a ladybug larva, and it's going to turn into a ladybug. So if you see this in your garden, you do not want to kill it. This grub becomes a beetle as well. These are all larva stages. So a grub is a larval stage for a different, I don't know what beetle it is, but this again is the larval stage for the patent leather beetle, which is a good bug. The beetle actually doesn't do that much harm. So anyway, that's the pests of the week. Thanks to our chain of everybody putting on pictures and things. Another thing I think you might be seeing a lot of right now, you guys, is a leaf miner. And oh, I'm sorry, going back here. I didn't tell you how to get rid of these. So we don't want to get rid of these. These are a grub. Just pick them out. It's usually not going to be too many of them. You can just pick them out and put them on your. I told Julie she could put them on in her grass, but then I realized after I said that I'm definitely not a grass expert. But there are people have problems with grubs in their grass, so you probably don't want to put it in your grass. Just put it on the sidewalk somewhere, and then the bird will eat it. And if you had these, they're fine. I would say they were fine in your garden. So anyway, the leaf miner, they do these fun little designs in your leaves, but they can damage your leaves. They can damage your plant. So I suggest using, again, the Castile soap, which is this. It's a few drops, 2 or 3 drops in a little, if you have a little spray bottle. This may be, I don't know, depending on which spray bottle. If you have a bigger spray bottle, you can put more in. And just spray the leaves forward and back and do it 3 or 4 times a week until they're gone. Also, you can pick off the leaves. That's easiest for this. If you don't have too many leaves with the leaf miners, just pick off the leaves and put them in the trash. And the diatomaceous earth is really good for any kind of worm. So the hornworms possibly, although hornworms are really hard to get rid of. Hornworms are really the best just to pick them off and get rid of them. Or dunk them into soapy water, which I have even heard doesn't even kill them. So just be careful with your hornworms, get rid of them. And anybody else this week have a pest that they didn't know what that was or how to get rid of it? I also had a little black aphids on my petunias this week. And so I actually did an Instagram post on it, and I used the Castile soap on it, and it worked great. What I did when I found the black aphids, I caught it early. So I picked off the parts that were pretty badly infested with them. And then I just sprayed the rest of the plant. And I've been doing it every 2 or 3 days. And it looks like it's coming along nicely. I also had a client this year that got, I don't know what, maybe a spider mite or something in their sage plant. And I had missed seeing it because I'm only in her garden once a week. And then the first week I saw it, I tried to pick some of it off, and then I forgot the Castile soap the next week. So we went a couple of weeks without me treating it. But once I got in there with that Castile soap, you should see the plant now. It looks beautiful. It's totally revived. So that Castile soap works beautifully, and I love having it around. You can clean with this. You can wash your hair with this. This stuff's see all the little writing on here? This is all the different things it can do. It's a pretty amazing. It's if you don't have Castile soap, I like the peppermint version of it. It smells so good, and it's fun to have in your house. The one thing I'm going to caveat about it, if you try to put it in a soap dispenser, it will clog it up pretty quickly. So just leave it in its bottle and use it that way.
So,
Anybody?
Jamie, yes,
Yeah.
I discovered a new pest this week.
Okay. What did you find?
Except I don't know what it is. I just sent a picture to the group on here. So I guess maybe a rat or a lizard, but someone has been stealing my pepperoncinis and my mini bell peppers and taking them into the bushes and eating only part of them.
Oh, okay. Let me share my screen.
I just sent it in the chat. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I've
can see
got
it.
it up here. Oh, now I've got to figure out how to share it. Let's see here. Here it is.
So I was very surprised to
You
see
guys
that.
see this? Do you see all this, everybody? Can you guys wait? I don't know if Christy can talk. Tracy, can you see the peppers here? We're able to share this. Huh.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's funny you're saying this. Did you get your eggplant? Because they got my eggplant. They
No, my eggplant's in a different, it's over in my herb garden.
Okay, so what I find interesting is this way they ate the inside out of it.
Yeah.
That's what they did to my eggplant exactly. So, and it was funny because I noticed that they could only get to the eggplant by climbing up I had a obelisk right next to my eggplant with, and it seems like they could get to that one, but they couldn't get to the other eggplants. So I don't know if you noticed that there was something they were able to climb up on.
Oh, well, that bed they can get into easily. They can't into the eggplant. Um, but yeah, what do you think that is? A lizard or a rat?
Oh, gosh, you know what? I'm gonna save that picture. Let me take a screenshot of it. Oh yeah, you put it in
I
the
can send it to you.
yeah, send it to me because I could not figure out what it is. And I had the same thing. And I figure it could be a mouse. But the fact that they're sort of taking the whole thing and putting it in a
Yeah. Seems kind of greeny, right?
yes, it's very strange. Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't know what that is. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So I'll share. Let's see. Oopsie. Oh, I gotta share
And
again.
then I thought I might harvest my ginger, but then I kind of dug around it and it was still really small, so I just put it back in the ground.
Oh no. So I think with the ginger, I'm pretty sure it's similar to garlic, where you should remember when you plant it and find out how long it goes. And then the top
Yes,
should be brown. Uh,
right.
Were they getting brown?
I thought so, but it was also in that super overcrowded bed. So when I cleaned out the bed, I was like, okay, is this yellow because it wasn't getting enough sun or what was happening? But yeah, they were way too small to harvest. So I
Oh,
just threw them back in. We'll
well,
see.
it should be fine. Oh man. I know I think really the harvesting of the root vegetables is all potatoes and the turnips and the beets and the carrot. I mean the carrots and the radishes at least you can sort of see the shoulders, but and the beets too. But the root crops like the garlic and those ginger and the turmeric and all that, that's a little trickier. And I think that's just going to be with experience. Like once
Yeah.
you get your crop to the right thing and you see it one time, and then you'll definitely be okay after that. And then you get a feel of how long it's going to be uh, before it's ready. And like we know it's 9 months with the garlic. I don't know.
Is everybody's garlic coming up? Mine is.
Oh, it is. Yes. The little
Yay.
they're all coming up. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? And it's funny
Yes.
because in one of my clients' beds, they have a lot of this. You guys listen. This is a really good tip for everybody. If you have any what are they? Palm trees. And you can tell those palm trees, they get those little palm tree sprouts that come up. It looks identical to your garlic sprout. And if you haven't labeled your garlic really well, you might think, oh, that's a little palm tree sprout. I'm going to pull that out. And then you've got pulled out garlic, which is not good. So either make sure you really label where you plant your garlic with a little stake. And you know what I did the other day too, that I think is a good hack, is I bought all white labels for my plants. And then I bought a package of blue labels that I'm not going to write anything on them. I'm just going to put them in when I do some seeds. I'm going to put blue, and then I know that's where to water. So I think that's a good little hack. I don't know if anybody thinks that's a good hack or not, but I find it really easy that I can just go through my garden. I go, oh yeah, there's a blue spot. That's where I need water. So anyway, that's my latest hack that I figured out. Yes,
Well,
Rosemary.
especially now with going to the 1 day watering. Come on,
Yes,
that's
thank you. You know,
ridiculous.
I know. I was like, my husband's so funny because he says to me the other day, it's up to 1 day now. November 1, it's 1 day water. I was like, 1 day a week. That's ridiculous. But we have it till February, I think, the 1 day a week watering. But that just goes to show that we have to hand water, or we have to really just keep our, our irrigation. If you have it up against the with a timer with your hose, you can do it. So yeah, we got to really make sure. And if you're planting seeds, like we're all planting seeds right now. Rosemary was just telling me, I'm so proud of Rosemary. Today she planted Swiss chard, she planted carrots, and she planted, what else did you plant, Rosemary? She told me she planted Swiss chard, carrots, and I can't remember what else. But that's
Lettuce.
what it was. Lettuce.
Lettuce.
And plant arugula. You guys, it's so good. I love arugula. It's easy to grow. It'll come up really quick too. But yeah, plant your lettuce. You've got plenty of time. We're gonna have them for a while now, and you're gonna really miss them when they're
And
not.
the arugula does not get very big, right? So you harvest
Oh,
it when it's pretty small.
oh, you mean when you harvest it? I would say it
Yeah.
gets a good 6 inches tall.
Okay, mine's pretty tiny.
Yeah, you don't want to harvest it quite yet.
Okay.
I mean, look, we all know that arugula is a microgram, and you could harvest it whenever you want. I mean, you could eat it anytime you want, but it's nicer if you can let it get a little bit bigger, then you have more of it. Okay, so action steps for today. I want everybody, if they can, find a pollinator plant, a fall pollinator plant, and I give you plenty of options in the handouts to find to put in your garden. And I said, try an edible flower recipe. I don't even know what that means. I would just say, I like to put my edible flowers in my salad because it looks pretty and it doesn't look too bad. And they don't have any flavor really, but they just make it salad look really pretty. But you can put your basil flowers in your pesto. If you're making pesto, don't waste the flowers. Just throw them in and they'll just blend up and you'll never even know they're there. See if you can save. I want everybody to try to save seeds. It's very rewarding when it comes time. Like right now, you'll be saving seeds to be planting in the spring. And like right now, I saved a bunch of marigold seeds, and it's just been so fun to just sprinkle them around and see them come up and know I didn't have to buy marigold seeds. So try saving seeds because and then also last year, at a seed swap, someone gave me an actual okra pod, and it was very dry and I could shake it. It was almost like a shaker. You could hear the seeds inside there. And I have planted them in everybody's gardens and they did so well. So it's just so fun to have your seeds. And also, you guys, I love it when you share your photos. So I know if you have, like that would have been great, Rosemary, to have shared that. I probably could have had that answered for us easier. But I am going to look that up for you, Rosemary. What's eating your, I have no but yeah, you guys always share if you've got like something's happening that's a mystery. If your plant, something happened to a plant that's a mystery. Oh, Candace did send me that her tomatoes, it was interesting. Some of her tomatoes were looking brown and crunchy. That is a sign of a blight or something in her. So I told her, get rid of those, pick them off, or if anything else, just get rid of the whole plant because she's really trying to grow, tomatoes. And sometimes if you have something very crunchy like a mold or a fungus on a plant, it can spread to other plants. So you really want to get that out of your garden as soon as you can. So it's good for you guys to always let me know if you're seeing something weird. And if I don't know the answer, I will look it up for you. Oh, and this is a kale plant. It's great. Kale right now, we can still put that in there and it's going to go on and on and on. All right. So that's my lesson for today. Does anybody, let me get everybody up here. We could all unmute and we can
I have a question.
yes, Tracy.
So I have some seed packets. How long do seeds typically stay good? Like, are they viable for years or is it like a year thing?
It's so look at your seed packet at the bottom. Excuse me. It's going to have a date when it's going to have a date when it's fresh, but you can use them up to 2 to 3 years. And let me tell you, Tracy, how to tell if they're viable. Get a paper towel, wet the paper towel, sprinkle a few of the seeds on the paper towel, put it in, and you don't have to cover it, just like lay the seed on top of the wet paper towel. Put it in a plastic baggie, zip it up, lay it on your counter, and if they're sprouting in a few days, then they're good. So you can test them before you're, waste your time with them. But
Got it.
yeah. Or, I mean, really, if you've got seeds, just, throw them in the ground and make sure, to keep them watered and see if they come up. But that's a good question. And it's definitely one of those things where they can be, I mean, I really dissuaded Candace from trying to do her seeds. Her seeds were 10 years old. And I was like, they're never going to be okay. And they were perfectly fine. So it just depends on the seed. And it is good to test them ahead of time because it can be frustrating to think that you've planted seeds and then no, they don't come up. I mean, not all seeds are going to come up anyway, but if you test them ahead of time, it's good. All right.
Yep.
I just sent something to the chat on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
I saved some of my leeks that I bought from the grocery store, and I had heard that you could do that same trick that you
Oh,
were
yes.
showing the celery.
Look at that.
So yeah, they started to sprout, and I just put them out in my garden today.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. See, you guys, this is great. Well, that's really great. That's going to get you going and you'll have some nice leeks. And it looked like you just let them stay in some water for a few days?
Yeah, I think I saw a YouTube video not very long ago. Like it just popped up on my feed and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love leeks."
I love leeks. I love leeks. They're so great, and I love them in soup. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super.
yeah.
That's super fun to see. I'll be interested to see how they do, uh, you know, versus just a seed or whatever. But that's great. And I've never grown leeks from seed, but I'm sure they're pretty good to do. But this is fun this is fun. So I'll definitely. And did you chop the bottom off a little bit because it's brown usually at the bottom of the leek? Did you give it some
Yeah,
fresh start, like cutting a flower, stem so that it could suck up the water?
yeah. They said to kind of trim up the roots and then you just cut the bottom part off anyway when you're chopping them to use them.
Right,
And
right.
so yeah, they just said to stick them in some water and they would start to sprout
Awesome. Thank
within a few
you.
days. So
That's a really great tip. See, that's great. So free plants. Free. That's we like free. Free plants. Okay. Anybody else? Let's think of anything else that happened this week. I'm going to go through the chain actually, see how we did. Is everybody's cool weather? Oh, you know what I did? I planted some zinnias and they're flowering. Anybody else have? I think Rosemary had some zinnias going. Or did you try to raise some more? And oh, Rosemary, if you could, oh, she's driving. I know she's driving, but I'm dying to hear if she's enjoying her Malabar spinach. Now that is supposed to be warm weather plant. Oh, I was going to tell you guys too. I had two of my son's friends there's two of my son's friends, they're younger people, and they're just started gardens on their own. And this one kid had this spinach I'd never heard of before. Wait, let me see if I can find this spinach. Really interesting spinach. It was not Malabar spinach.
So my Malabar spinach is still doing great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's kind of going to seed, but it's also still growing leaves. So I would just say for future, definitely want to plant more and have really tall stakes, like those really long green ones you can get at Star, because they went up like 6 feet and then went and climbed into my lemon tree.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I need to,
so I have a
I'll send
question
you a
for,
picture.
okay, yes, do. So I have a question. Now, this kid, he's growing something called longevity spinach. I've never heard of
Okay.
spinach, but he was showing me pictures of his longevity spinach, and he said it's been going for like 2 years now. He said it's a bit thicker, and maybe it sounds like more like a Malabar spinach, but he said it's growing really well and he loves it. So longevity spinach, that's something new I had never heard of. That's what I love about this hobby is that we're always going to meet people growing something cool and we're going to want to try it.
And my zinnias are still blooming that I planted months ago. I
Oh,
love them.
oh, that is
I,
so, yeah, those,
yeah,
and zinnias are a great pollinator plant. So that's,
yeah. And
I
the
didn't know.
hummingbirds love them. And it's so cool to look out there and see the hummers on them.
Oh, yeah.
Um, al- yeah. Also, for the first time ever, well, the first last couple of parties we host a lot of events at my house. Every bouquet in the house was from my yard.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Rosemary, that is
So
so
yeah, I'm
great.
like, I save so much money,
Yeah, that's always a good way of justifying the ROI.
So, but I used everything and it was absolutely just so it's just, be proud of it, but it feels so good.
See, it does. It really does. And when and don't we get hooked on having our herbs in our backyard, not ever having
Yes.
any, basil. I mean, that when that basil's gone. Oh, that reminds me, everybody. I wanted to let everybody know. I need to write everybody an email about this. That the basil's going to be. It's if it's not already looking a little puny. As soon as it gets, we get one freeze, it's going to be gone. So you can either pot it up and bring it inside, which
Oh,
is an iffy thing. If you have a nice sunny window, and I know Christy Hart, you've got a really nice sunny window in your kitchen, I think that your basil might be able to keep going and going and going, and then by next spring you can put it back out. But if not, it's really sad when you don't have your basil anymore because who doesn't want? I mean, I use basil all the time, and
I
then
harvested mine yesterday because it was starting to look sad and I
yeah.
just went for it and I have probably a dozen jars, small jars of pesto in the freezer. So I'm pretty thrilled, but also sad it's over.
Yep, I just went and got a ton of pine nuts at Trader Joe's and a ton of Parmesan. I get my Parmesan at Whole Foods. Where do you get your Parmesan, Rosemary?
Just wherever. And I've actually really been, because I'm such a pesto freak, I have been playing with some healthier recipes.
Oh,
And not necessarily pine nuts. I'll use pecans or walnuts or even
mhm.
cashews.
Yep.
And then instead of using so much oil, I'm just putting some water in. The color ends up being lighter.
Okay.
But um, what else did I do? I added some, I didn't have parm. Oh no, I didn't think I had a parm. So I put like Dubliner cheese in there the other day. It was still delicious. I'm just totally bastardizing all the pesto recipes and just doing whatever I want as
That's
long
right.
as it
And
has
then,
tons of garlic and pesto.
oh, that's
Oh,
right.
and I put my chives in it too. My chives and spinach.
Oh, but that's, oh, you know what you can put into is parsley with it.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Yep. That's supposed to be good too. And the parsley's going crazy right now. And it's just loving this cool weather. And then mine's on it. You remember, you guys, don't forget the parsley and the cilantro are biannuals. And so they can last up to 2 years. And then after that, they might peter out. So I've got parsley that's just kept on going through. It is still out there. So that's great. Well, yeah. So pesto, there's a lot of different things you can do with the basil, with the pesto. And you can use, Rosemary was saying, different nuts and different, don't even have to put cheese in it. Have you ever tried nutritional yeast in there?
Oh yes, I did. I put that in the one yesterday that had all the crazy
I
ingredients in it.
love nutritional
It's
yeast. If
so
you guys
good.
don't know what it is,
So
I
good.
met someone one time that was vegan in London, of all things, and I had never seen it before. And I started using it, and I'm addicted to nutritional yeast.
I grew up on that. It's the best on popcorn with
I was just
butter.
gonna say I put it on popcorn.
Yes.
It's like, oh,
Oh,
so good on
it's
popcorn.
the
Uh,
best.
the best. Okay, so is anybody planting anything for fall that's unusual that we need to know about that you need to share that you're doing that's going to be fun to try? And I'm trying to think if I'm in this. I don't think I have anything this fall. No, I don't. I don't have anything unusual this fall. So, all right. Well, is there any more questions? Because we can be done, or I can keep going. I'm happy to answer questions if you think of anything. Next. Next lesson. Is there something I haven't gone over that you guys are itching for me to really talk more about? I'm open to suggestions. We've only got three more, well, depending on where you are in the cycle. If you came in January, we've only got three more lessons. Tracy, you got a whole bunch more coming to you. Um, Christy, I can't remember where you are in the cycle, but if there's something I haven't chatted about, let me know and I will do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on with my planned classes, and then I think I sent out, I hope everybody got the email, and Tracy, let me know if you need me to resend it in a different way to you, but there's
Yeah, because I'm still not getting them.
still not getting them email. Okay, so
No.
Tracy, I have the schedule for the rest of the 2 weeks because with the holidays, um, this week I moved it up to Tuesday because we moved it up a week for November and December. So we're doing the first and third week instead of the second and fourth week. So anyway, it had to be on Tuesday this week because I have to do a lecture tomorrow night for the Boulder City Garden Club. I'm going to speak for them tomorrow, which is going to be fun. So thank you guys for coming today early. And then next week it will be back. In 2 weeks from now, we'll be back on track with Wednesdays until the end of the year. So I will resend that to you, Tracy. But until then, if there's any more questions, let me know. Keep up on, I'm loving the WhatsApp. You guys are doing pretty good job on there. More pictures, more questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And look for your email tomorrow. Have a great evening. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for showing up. Mwah! I love you all. And
Love
Thank
you, honey.
you.
love this.
Bye.
So much
Thanks,
fun.
Tiffany.
Talk
Bye.
to you guys later. Bye.
Bye bye.